Have you ever felt like life is just kind of happening to you?
Yeah, like you're just caught in the flow.
Exactly, like you're caught in a current instead of, truly steering your own ship.
Hmm.
Well, what if you could tap into this like immense personal power, take immediate control, and really consciously shape your own destiny?
It sounds like a pretty big promise, doesn't it? And that's actually exactly what we're digging into today.
Right.
We're doing a deep dive into Anthony Robbins' huge book, Awaken the Giant Within.
A classic.
Definitely. And this isn't just, theory in the clouds. People often call it a really practical owner's manual for making deep, lasting changes in your life.
Okay, so our mission here for this deep dive, it's pretty straightforward. We want to pull out the most powerful, the most actionable ideas, maybe some surprising bits from this book.
Yeah, give you the highlight.
Basically give you a shortcut so you're well informed, but more than that, really feeling empowered to, well, transform things, starting today.
Get ready to find that owner's manual for your own mind.
So to really get into this owner's manual, maybe we should start with the guy who wrote it, Anthony Robbins himself.
Good idea. His personal story is pretty compelling, and it really feeds directly into the book's whole message.
Yeah, how so?
Well, just 8 years before he wrote Awaken the Giant Within, he actually describes himself as being, and this is a quote, fat, broke, and wondering if I could even survive.
Wow, that's quite a starting point.
Right. But then by the time the book came out, he had already worked personally with like over 250,000 people.
250,000.
Yep, including, big names, members of Congress, CEOs, top athletes.
Okay, so what's fascinating then is that his own huge turnaround, it's not just a cool story.
Exactly. It's like the living proof behind what the book promises.
Ah.
He basically designed it as an action guide. That's what he calls it. To help you raise your standards, yeah. Change those beliefs holding you back.
Those limiting beliefs.
Right. And develop strategies that actually work to get the results you want and ultimately just, boost the quality and enjoyment of your life.
So what this means for you, listening right now, is that these ideas, they aren't just thought experiments.
Nope. They come from real life, from his own journey, and from actually helping tons of people figure their stuff out. It's about tools you can use, not just theory.
Okay, so here's where it starts to get really interesting, I think. Robbins puts forward this idea. It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped.
That's a core one.
And he has this concept he calls the Niagara syndrome.
Right. I remember that.
Where, most folks are just drifting down the river of life, caught in the currents.
It's going with the flow.
Yeah, until, bam, they suddenly realize they're like 5 feet from Niagara Falls.
Okay.
And, no oars in the boat.
It's such a powerful metaphor, isn't it? It really shows how if you just unconsciously let things happen, let external stuff decide your path.
You end up somewhere you didn't plan on.
Exactly. Undesired outcomes.
Yeah.
But the key insight, the good news, is that we can actually override that default just by making conscious decisions.
Okay, but what's a true decision, according to him?
Good question. He emphasizes it's one where action immediately follows. It's not just wishing or hoping. It's like setting a cause in motion.
You've really decided when you actually do something right away.
Precisely.
Like, think about that story of Mr. Honda.
Oh, yeah, the founder of Honda.
Right. He faced just incredible setbacks building his company. A deal with Toyota fell through. Then there was a war, so no concrete for his factory. Then a gasoline shortage. Just one thing after another.
Wow. You'd think he'd give up.
You would, but apparently he had this unwavering belief, something like, God's delays are not God's denials.
Power.
And that kept him going. It led him to invent the motorized bicycle, which was, the start of everything for Honda.
So it's not just about pushing through.
No, it's about strengthening what Robbins calls your decision-making muscles. By making decisions often, and crucially, learning even from what seem like bad calls or bad judgment.
Making decisions, acting, learning, adjusting. Got it.
So, okay. If decisions shape destiny, what actually drives our actions from moment to moment?
Well, Robbins argues it comes down to something really fundamental. What we link pain and pleasure to.
Pain and pleasure. Okay.
Yeah. Think about it. We avoid doing things like maybe starting that diet or launching a new business if deep down we associate more pain with doing it.
Than with the pain of just staying stuck.
Exactly. The pain of staying put feels less bad somehow.
He shares a really personal example, doesn't he? Something from his childhood.
Oh, yeah, the beer thing. It's pretty vivid. He links the smell of beer to throwing up after some childhood incident. right? And boom, this powerful neuroassociation, as he calls it, gets created. Led to him avoiding beer his whole life.
So that same mechanism, that linking of feelings to things, shapes all our choices.
Pretty much. It steers us toward what feels good, what we link pleasure to, and away from pain. For him, that meant consciously finding pleasure in things like learning, laughing, sports, helping people.
You know, this really reminds me of like Pavlov's conditioning experiments.
Yeah, absolutely. And Robbins makes that connection himself, especially when he talks about advertising.
Yeah, like the Michael Jackson Pepsi deal he mentioned.
Exactly. $15 million back then.
Yeah.
And apparently, Jackson didn't even drink Pepsi.
Seriously.
Yeah, but its power was in changing people's emotional states, right?
Yeah.
So Pepsi linked their drink to him, to that feeling,
Yeah.
and sales just exploded.
Wow. Or the California raisins. I remember those.
Totally. They took this like boring dried fruit
Yeah.
and linked it to Motown music, sunglasses, being California cool, made it fun and exciting, and it literally saved the raisin industry, which was in a major slump.
That's incredible, just changing the association.
And the really powerful takeaway here for you is that you can do this deliberately, in your own mind.
Like advertise to yourself.
Kind of. You consciously link intense pain to the habits you want to ditch and massive pleasure to the new ones you want to build.
Okay.
And then, through repetition, feeling it intensely, you condition those new pathways until they become automatic, like building a direct highway to what you want, bypassing those old, unhelpful detours.
Okay, let's go a bit deeper then. Robbins reveals this other truth, he says. It's never the environment. It's never the events of our lives.
But the meaning we attach to the events, how we interpret them, that shapes who we are.
Yeah, that's a big one.
He tells that really powerful story, almost chilling, about the two brothers.
Oh, yeah. Raised by the same father who is alcoholic and abusive.
Right. And one brother ends up a criminal. The other becomes this really successful, happy guy.
And the punchline is, when you ask each of them why their life turned out that way.
They both give the exact same answer. What else could I have become, having grown up with a father like that?
Whoa. It just perfectly illustrates his point.
Yeah.
Same event, totally different meanings attached, totally different lives. So our beliefs then, they're like the compass, telling us what leads to pain or pleasure based on our interpretation.
Exactly. He says ideas are like tabletops with no legs, kind of flimsy. But beliefs, they have legs.
Legs, meaning
References, experiences from our past that make the belief feel solid, real, certain.
Okay.
But here's the kicker. Those references, those legs, they can be based on real things or imagined things. They can be accurate or totally inaccurate. But our brain often treats them all as fact.
So we could be basing our lives on faulty evidence.
Absolutely. Think of Roger Bannister breaking the 4-minute mile. People believed it was physically impossible. He broke it first in his mind by vividly imagining it again and again.
Right. Or Walt Disney building Disneyland when nothing like it existed. Pure belief in a vision.
Yeah. Which really brings up a crucial question for you listening.
What disempowering beliefs are you maybe holding on to?
He uses the example of the QWERTY keyboard.
The keyboard layout. How's that a belief?
Well, it was actually designed to slow typists down to stop old manual typewriters from jamming.
Get out! Really?
Seriously. But because it won some biased typing contest early on, it became the standard for speed and efficiency for over 120 years.
Wow. So we clung to something designed for slowness, believing it was fast.
Makes you wonder, right? What other QWERTY keyboards are we using in our thinking just because they're familiar without ever questioning if they actually work for us?
Good question. So what's the alternative?
Robbins says, first, create doubt around those limiting beliefs. Question their validity, and then consciously choose and install empowering ones.
Okay, how?
He introduces this idea, CANI. C-A-N-A. Stands for constant and never-ending improvement.
Ah, like Kaizen in Japan.
Exactly. Inspired by Dr. W. Edwards Deming, who helped revolutionize Japanese industry with that philosophy.
And he connects this to sports too, right? Pat Riley.
Yeah, the legendary NBA coach.
Yeah.
With the Lakers, he didn't ask for massive leaps. He sold them on the idea of improving by just 1% in 5 key areas of their game.
Only 1%. Seems small.
That's the genius. It felt achievable. But the compound effect was huge. Most players improved by at least 5% overall, some way more, like 50% in certain areas. And they had their easiest championship season ever because they believed massive success was possible through small, consistent gains.
So the practical takeaway is huge. You can literally choose your beliefs.
Yes. Ask yourself powerful questions like, okay, to succeed in this situation, what would I have to believe? And then you got to reinforce that new belief. Hammer it in with emotion, with repetition, until it feels more real than the old one.
Okay, so decision, pain, pleasure links, beliefs. Now, how do we actually make changes stick? Robbins talks about change happening in a moment, right?
Yeah, he argues that lasting change is created instantly in a moment of decision, but most of us wait until, a crisis forces us.
He tells that story about curing someone's snake phobia.
In 15 minutes.
Yeah,
For a psychiatrist patient who hadn't made progress in years.
but then he highlights a mistake he made early on.
Right. He realized he was taking too much responsibility for other people's changes.
Ah,
For change to truly last, you, the person wanting the change, you have to believe two core things. First, something must change, like non-negotiable.
okay. Urgency.
And second, I must change it. Taking full ownership, no waiting for someone else to fix it.
Got it. Must change, and I must change it.
Exactly. He points out our brains are these incredibly powerful machines processing billions of bits of info per second.
Yeah.
But most of us never got the owner's manual.
Right.
So we run on old programming, old Neuro-Association.
Those physical connections in the brain.
Right. And the more you use a particular pathway, a habit, a thought pattern, the stronger it gets. He mentions that monkey study by Michael Mercenary,
Oh, yeah.
where the area of the brain mapped to the monkey's most used finger actually expanded by like 600%, just from use.
Wow. Use it or lose it, or use it and it grows.
Pretty much.
Mm.
So to consciously create change, he lays out these 6 steps. He calls it Neuro-Associative Conditioning, or NAC.
Okay, NAC. Let's break it down. Step 1.
Step 1, decide what you really want and what's preventing you from having it now. Sounds simple, but he stresses focusing on what you do want, specifically, not just what you want to avoid. Clarity is key.
Makes sense. You get what you focus on. Step 2.
Step 2, get leverage. This is crucial. You have to associate massive pain to not changing right now, and massive pleasure to actually making the change.
That's where the Alpo diet story comes in.
Slight chuckle. Yeah, that unforgettable one. The woman who would literally eat a can of dog food if she gained weight back.
Oh, intense.
Super intense. But it created such a powerful pain threshold that she absolutely stuck to her diet. Change became a must, not a should.
Okay, intense leverage. Got it. Step 3.
Interrupt the limiting pattern. You got to break the old habit. Scramble the signal.
Like the chocolate addict example.
Exactly. The guy loved chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Robbins told him to eat only chocolate breakfast, lunch, dinner for 9 days straight.
Oh, man.
By the end, the guy was so disgusted he couldn't stand the sight or smell of it. Pattern obliterated.
So you make the old thing painful or ridiculous.
Yeah, or speed up negative mental images,
Yeah.
add silly music in your head, make it absurd, anything to break that automatic link.
Okay. Interrupt the pattern. Step 4.
Create a new, empowering alternative. This is vital. You can't just leave a vacuum. If you stop an old behavior like smoking, you need new positive ways to get the benefits you were getting before, maybe stress relief, connection, whatever it was. You need a replacement.
Fill the void with something better. Makes sense.
Okay.
Step 5.
Condition the new pattern. This is where you make it stick. Repetition, repetition, repetition.
Yeah.
And linking pleasure to it.
Rewarding yourself.
Immediately. Reward yourself instantly for doing the new thing, even small steps. He talks about dolphin training.
Yeah.
They use a variable schedule of reinforcement, meaning rewards come intermittently, unpredictably. This actually makes the new behavior stronger and more resistant to extinction because the brain keeps anticipating the reward.
Interesting. So consistency, but maybe not rewarding every single time.
Exactly. Keeps the brain engaged. And conversely, he warns just one slip-up, like just one more cigarette after quitting, that reinforces the old pattern powerfully in your nervous system.
Right. Gotta stay vigilant, especially early on. Okay, and step 6.
Step 6 is test it and verify. Don't just assume the change is made. Put yourself in situations where the old pattern might have triggered. Prove to yourself and your brain that the new pattern is now dominant and reliable.
Okay, test it out. Makes sense. So those 6 steps,
Yeah.
that's the core process for rewiring.
That's the NAC process, yeah. Applied consistently, it's designed to build that direct highway to pleasure for the new behavior, making the old path obsolete. Conscious rewiring.
Okay, so beyond the steps themselves, Robbins also gets into the actual components of our internal master system, right? The things that shape our moment-to-moment experience.
Yes, exactly. These are like the control dials, the levers, and that owner's manual we talked about.
So what are they?
Well, first, there's your state, and this is directly connected to your physiology, how you use your body.
How you move.
Yeah. Emotion is created by motion. If you slump, walk tiredly, breathe shallowly, you'll feel tired and down.
Okay.
But if you consciously change your posture, stand tall, pull your shoulders back, breathe deeply, change your facial expression, even just forcing a big grin in the mirror for a minute.
Yeah.
He said doing that like 5 times a day can literally build a neural pathway to feeling good. Your body leads your emotions.
Interesting. Change your body, change your feeling. What else?
Next up is focus. Simply put, what you focus on becomes your reality.
Where your attention goes, energy flows.
Pretty much. He uses the racing car driver example. You steer where you look. If you stare at the wall you want to avoid, guess where you're likely to end up?
Right into the wall.
Exactly. Focus on where you want to go. He mentions Bo Jackson, the athlete. His life apparently turned around when he shifted his focus from the thrill of violence to the intense pain prison would cause him. That focus shift changed his direction.
Focus directs your path. Got it. What's next?
Your vocabulary, or what Robbins calls transformational vocabulary, the specific words you use to describe your experience.
Words matter that much.
Hugely.
Yeah.
They filter everything. If you feel upset and label it furious, you actually intensify the feeling.
Oh.
But if you take that same sensation and call it a bit annoyed, or even something silly like, I feel tinkled off.
Telkles, tinkled off.
Yeah, he suggests it. It instantly lowers the emotional intensity, makes it harder to stay furious when you're feeling tinkled.
I can see that.
Think about Bruce Springsteen versus Carly Simon. Springsteen felt tension before going on stage, but he called it excitement. It fueled him.
Right.
Carly Simon felt similar sensations, but called it stage fright. And it basically paralyzed her, stopped her performing live for years. Same feeling, different label, totally different outcome.
Wow. The words we use literally shape our emotional reality.
Absolutely. And finally, there are metaphors.
Metaphors, like figures of speech.
Yeah, but deeper than that. They're how we understand things, how we make associations. Jesus used fishers of men to explain recruiting to fishermen. It made the abstract instantly concrete and relatable for them.
Okay.
Or that story about Martin Sheen having a heart attack while filming Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
His wife apparently said to him, "It's just a movie, babe." And that metaphor, reframing the life-threatening reality as just a difficult scene in a film, helped him manage the experience.
That's incredible, shifting the frame with a metaphor.
Exactly. And think about the core metaphors you use for life itself. Is life a battle, a game, a dance, a gift? That underlying metaphor massively impacts how you experience everything and what actions you take.
So state, focus, vocabulary, metaphors.
Yeah.
These are tools we can use right now.
That's the beauty of it. They're immediate. You can change your physiology, shift your focus, choose a different word, pick a new metaphor instantly to change how you feel, and start shifting your reality.
Powerful stuff. Okay, let's go even deeper now. He talks about these unseen forces, values, rules, and identity.
Right. This is getting down to the real bedrock, the foundations of who you are and why you do what you do.
So let's start with values. What are they, in his view?
Values are simply what's most important to you. They're the things that drive your decisions ultimately. He distinguishes between ends values,
Like
emotional states you want to experience, love, joy, freedom, security, passion, the core feelings,
okay.
and means values. These are the things or ways you believe will get you those end states, like money, family, career, a specific car.
So means are the vehicles to the ends.
Exactly. And where problems arise is in values conflict.
Mm-hmm.
He tells a story about a woman named Jolie who got her dream job at Disneyland.
Sounds great.
Yeah, but she was miserable. Why? Because the job, while achieving a means value, prestige, fun maybe, was conflicting with her highest end values, love, health, and growth. The long hours impacted her relationships and well-being.
So achieving something wasn't worth it if it violated deeper values.
Precisely. Knowing your true hierarchy of values is critical for fulfillment.
Okay, values guide us. What about rules?
Rules are your personal beliefs about what has to happen for you to feel like one of your values is being met, or what has to happen for you to feel pain.
Like my internal rule book for feeling good or bad.
Exactly. And Robbins points out a huge problem. Most people have rules that are almost impossible to meet consistently.
How so?
Their rules for feeling good might depend entirely on other people acting a certain way or reaching some perfectionist standard. Or they have tons of ways to feel bad, but only one or two very specific ways to feel good. They're basically wired for pain.
Ouch. Can you give an example?
Yeah, he mentions a woman, Lori, whose rule was basically, I feel rejected if someone doesn't agree with my beliefs.
Oh, wow. In a diverse world, that's a recipe for
Constant pain. because people will always have different views. So the solution he proposes is powerful. Consciously rewrite your rules. Make it easy to feel good and hard to feel bad.
Choose rules that empower you, that you control.
Exactly. Rules like, I feel loved when I act lovingly, rather than, I feel loved only if someone tells me they love me. See the difference?
Yeah, one is internal, one is external. That's a really powerful idea, choosing your rules. Okay, so values, rules, and then identity. This feels like the deepest level.
It really is. Identity, Robbins argues, is the ultimate driver.
Yeah.
Because we will always act consistently with who we believe we are.
We live up to or down to our own self-concept.
Precisely. He mentions how the Chinese communists reportedly changed the identities of some POWs during the Korean War.
How?
By getting them to perform tiny, seemingly harmless acts that were slightly aligned with collaboration, writing mild criticisms, answering questions. But because humans have a deep need for consistency, these small acts started shifting the prisoners' own view of themselves. Little by little, they started identifying as collaborators.
That's chilling, but it shows the power of consistency with identity.
It does. And on the flip side, someone who identifies as a drug addict or a fat person will often revert back to those behaviors, even after making changes, unless their core identity shifts to maybe a healthy person, a runner, a leader, a person committed to recovery.
So it's not enough to change behavior. You have to change who you believe you are.
That's the core message.
Yeah.
And Robbins stresses, you are not your body. You are not your past. You are not your behaviors. Your identity is something you choose, moment by moment. It's fluid.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
a massive realization. You can literally decide who you are becoming.
It's an incredibly empowering invitation, isn't it? To consciously define yourself and then align your actions, your values, your rules to that identity. Intentional self-creation.
Okay, so we've covered so much ground. Decisions, pain, pleasure, beliefs, NAC, state, focus, words, metaphors, values, rules, identity. How do we start putting this all together? What's the call to action?
Well, one challenge Robbins throws down is what he calls a mental diet.
A mental diet, like for thoughts.
Exactly. 10 consecutive days where you refuse to entertain any unresourceful negative thoughts or emotions.
For 10 whole days. What if you slip up?
If you catch yourself dwelling on the negative for even, say, 60 seconds, focusing on the problem, instead of the solution, you have to start the 10 days over.
Whoa, that's tough. What's the point?
It's intense training for your focus muscle. To condition yourself to spend like 90% of your time focused on solutions and only 10% on problems. To build that mental resilience.
Okay, train your focus. What else?
He strongly emphasizes setting compelling goals. Bigger, more inspiring, more challenging goals across 4 key areas of life.
Which are?
1. Personal development, who you want to become. 2. Career, business, economics, what you want to achieve financially and professionally. 3. Toys and adventures, the fun stuff, the experiences you want. And 4. Contribution, what you want to give back.
Contribution. That feels important in his work.
It's absolutely crucial. He points to examples like Robin Williams using his fame to help the homeless, or his own Anthony Robbins Foundation.
Right, they do things like the basket brigade at Thanksgiving.
Yep, providing food for families. And seminars in prisons, programs for the elderly. He really believes that contribution, helping others, is the ultimate goal. It's where the deepest, most lasting fulfillment comes from.
And it doesn't have to be huge, right? He mentions that Mark Laboud guy.
Oh yeah, the tuna net story.
Yeah.
This one guy with an $800 video camera documented how dolphins were being caught and killed in tuna nets. His video sparked a movement that led to dolphin-safe tuna labeling and saved countless dolphins.
Wow. Shows how one person's focused action can have massive ripple effects.
Absolutely. Small hinges swing big doors.
He also touches on practical stuff like health and money, too, doesn't he?
Briefly, yeah. On health, he talks about understanding the difference between aerobic exercise, building that steady endurance boost like ultramarathon or Stu Middleman,
Okay.
and then adding anaerobic explosive exercise, short bursts, which he notes can stimulate things like human growth hormone for vitality.
And finances. Any magic bullet.
Tuckles. No magic bullet, just timeless wisdom. The core rule is incredibly simple. Spend less than you earn and invest the difference. Harnessing the power of compounding over time. Simple, but powerful if you actually do it.
Then less, invest the difference. Sounds straightforward.
So, wrapping up, there's this undercurrent of personal power, of responsibility.
And heroism, really. He encourages you to see yourself as a hero. That the things that cause you pain, the injustices you see, maybe even in your own life, those might actually be signals, calls to action for you to step up, to be the change, to embody that hero you're capable of being.
Wow. What an incredible journey through Awaken the Giant Within. We've gone from the power of just one decision.
All the way to how our deepest identity shapes everything. We've looked at neuroassociations, beliefs, values, rules. It really is a comprehensive roadmap.
It feels like it gives you the tools to really take the wheel of your own life. Definitely. And he leaves us with this perspective shift, too, reminding us that good and bad experiences are only the perceptions of man, and that sometimes, actually, our worst experiences have truly been your best because of what they taught us or how they shaped us.
It's a lot to chew on.
It really is. Which leads us to a final thought, a question for you listening right now to maybe reflect on.
Okay.
Based on everything we've just talked about, what single tiny action, maybe something really small, will you take today to start rewriting your own inner rule book or to step more fully into the identity you want to create? Knowing, as we've seen, that even the smallest shift can start to redirect your entire destiny.
Just one small step today. That feels manageable. Keep learning, everyone. Keep questioning. And keep striving for that CNA, that constant and never-ending improvement.